Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast, Pub Chat. We're back at our favorite Irish pub, B.D. Riley's here in Austin, Texas. I feel like I haven't been here in a long time. It's probably been over a month since I've been on the show with you guys. I've been out of town, or I was in Madrid for a week, and so it's good to be back with you guys. I see that the fortunes of the team really haven't changed since I left. But let's get into it. We play Leeds on the weekends. As we were talking before the show started, we lost to them 2-1 last time, and they're currently in 16th place. So let's get into it. Obviously I'm joined with Julian and Chris again, but let's get into it. What do we think about the lineups going into this game, guys?
I think the lineup, as we were saying a bit earlier, said kind of apart from will Thiago start or won't he start, I think the team kind of picks itself, really. Don't see much change in the back line. Should be the usual back five. And then in midfield, probably Fabinho, Hendo. And then it'll depend on, it's a toss-up then between probably Elliott, Curtis, or Thiago. Maybe he might start Thiago, and it might be a toss-up between Hendo, Elliott, and Curtis. I don't know. And then he'll up top probably Nunes, I would say. I mean, you'd nearly would be wanting to start Bobby now too, though, right?
You would hope so. I would hope to see Bobby back in the team. And we're recording this on Wednesday, so who knows what's going to happen in the next few days. But, I would hope Bobby comes back and starts away against Leeds. I think Bobby is still the most important player in Klopp's system. It's going to be sad when he leaves in the summer. That's a big space to fill in the team. But who knows? Midfield, we'll see. It's impossible really to predict what he's going to do. I would be surprised if Curtis Jones started again after starting against Chelsea and then Arsenal, and it hasn't really worked. And if Thiago is fit, then hopefully he goes straight back in. But I'm not looking forward to this whatsoever.
Well, we haven't lost since Curtis Jones has been in the starting lineup.
Fuck off. My God.
Jesus.
Hey, against Chelsea and Arsenal. But I get your point. But there are a lot of options that he can do. Elliott had played every single game up till the Chelsea game. Now he hasn't played in 2 games. And so you try to figure out what the thinking is there. Will he come back into the lineup? Give Hendo a break. But, if you go back to the second half of Arsenal, to play that well, you just hope that they can carry over the momentum from that second half into this game. Even though on the road against these bottom 6 teams, I don't even think we've scored a goal all season against, I think that's what I read. We haven't even scored a goal on the road against a bottom 6 team. Isn't that amazing?
If that's true, that's shocking.
That's what I heard. Well, our stat man isn't here, but that's what I heard. But it's been a shocking form that we've had against those bottom teams.
It's a huge game for Leeds, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. It's a Monday night.
Yeah.
It's at Ellen Road, which is never the most easiest of places to go to anyway. Leeds are fighting for their lives. We seem to have no fight whatsoever in us. So you would think we're going to lose this game, but with the way the season's been going, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Our record against the bottom 6, or at least the bottom half of the league, is really, really bad. So I don't think there's not a confidence that we're going to go there, I would think, from any Liverpool fan and get a result. I think a win would be a surprise for us. If Leeds win, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. And that's not us being making this a really miserable, depressing thing, but it's just the fact of the way of how horrendous and how much of a disaster and how much of a catastrophe this season has been.
We spoke about this the first time we played them, that Leeds is really the team that we don't want to play because they just run and run. They're a young team full of energy, and sometimes that energy works for them and sometimes it doesn't. But a team full of energy is not necessarily the team that Liverpool wants to play against. They don't want to go up and down.
No, I think that's right. I think probably, if this This is the type of game you'd probably want at Saturday noon, to be honest with you. But I think Monday night, their fans are going to be well up for it. They need to be well up for it because, they're down there fighting for their lives, as we said. I think this is a tough game for us to go and get something. We just can't seem to be able to put 45 minutes of football together. I mean, we were absolutely fucking shocking in the first half against City. There's no other word for it. It was the second half against City. And then Sunday, to be honest with you, I turned it off at halftime because I couldn't look at them anymore. The first half against Arsenal was absolutely fucking diabolical. And if we do that on Monday night, we'll get fucking battered.
You did miss a good second half, though. We were very good in the second half.
Yeah, I enjoyed. No, I didn't even enjoy.
First half, we were played off the pitch.
I didn't even enjoy my Easter Sunday dinner. I swear to God, I turned it off. I was down at the in-laws and I was fucking and blinding and cursing and kicking, and I just turned the telly off and I didn't even enjoy the Sunday dinner. But no, to go back to it. We have to. We're 28, 29 games into the fucking season. We have to be able to put fucking 45 minutes of fucking football together, and just show a little bit of fight, show a little bit of just a little bit of resilience and a little bit of heart is all you want to see them do now, and a bit of pride in the jersey, and go out and fucking give the fans something to fucking shout about on Monday evening, because it's been really, really poor.
It's a team that looks spent, and it's easy to forget how good we were last season. How we nearly won everything, but now it's a number of things. But we look shattered throughout. The players have been arguing on the pitch numerous times throughout the season. The squad depth isn't there. We've had injury problems. We've had problems behind the scenes. We've had it's Julian Ward that took over from Michael Edwards has left. There's so much that's going on, and this affects the players as well massively. Any wonder that I wasn't confident going into this season, but I didn't think it would be as bad as what it's been. And as I say, there is a number of reasons for that. So the sooner the season is over, the better. And we need a massive summer that we'll get into in a minute. But what do we think? Because let's move on to what everyone actually wants to talk about, and let's do our predictions for the Leeds game.
We need a reset. I think the summer's going to be a good. It's going to be a good reset. But look, there's 10 games left. It'd be nice if they could put a bit of a run together for the next few games and kind of end the season. Not on a positive, because there's not really positive to take from this season, but just end the season with a couple of wins, with a few wins. And I don't know, I think I'm going to go with 2-2 as my prediction for Monday night.
2-2, okay. Senior Wilson.
I think that we're going to win 2-1 on the road. We're trying to reverse the trend that's been happening against these bottom teams. We're going to find a way to. They beat us 2-1 at Anfield. We're going to beat them 2-1 there.
All right, I think we'll lose 2-1.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll work, because I always predict us to win, because I like to be positive, right?
No 3-1 today, right?
But I'm in a really bad mood this week for many reasons. So let's move on to something of what happened yesterday. The Jude Bellingham story. Someone that we've been after. It's pretty well known. We've been after for 3 years. It was a reason, apparently, we didn't sign or splash big funds in the summer on a midfielder because we were waiting. We're like, okay, all right, it makes a bit of sense. We've kind of done this before with certain players.
I mean,
like
after we lost too many, you mean?
Yeah, we were there to spend the money on Bellingham. We were after Bellingham. We wanted Bellingham, right? Of course, it was announced yesterday. We'll see if it actually doesn't happen, but it was announced by all the main top-tier journalist figures that our interest in Bellingham is over. And it was funny because all the journalists announced it and printed the similar story all at the same time. So they're obviously briefed by the club to do that. But anyway, Chris, I'll turn it over to you, sir, to get your thoughts.
It's hard to say without knowing fully whether this is just a negotiation sort of tactic. As you say, I think there's no how do you say it? There's no denying that we want to sign him. It seems like he wants to sign for Liverpool. So it depends on what way you want to go about this. If you go with the story that we're out and we're not signing him, then it's a major this is a major bollocks, because what, is it a surprise that he was going to cost 100 million?
That's the thing, isn't it? Right? We knew he was going to cost a lot.
Did they just find out yesterday that he was, it was going to cost 100 million and it was going to cost probably 250 or 300 grand a week? I mean, these things, every man and his dog knew these things. So, I don't understand why all of a sudden yesterday we'd be cooling the interest. So,
hey, before you go, do you think it was that we legitimately offered the 85 million contract as a starting point?
Yeah, I think it because it was late in the morning and there was a lot talking about Liverpool a bit, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. And it was obviously turned down as not acceptable, and we've done this before, right? Negotiating tactic. We've done it with Alisson. We did it with. Did it with Cater at first, I believe, as well. And yes, it is a negotiating tactic. This feels different though. This feels different to before. And I get it strategically, right? One Jude Bellingham is not going to solve our problems, right? Like, we need at least 3 midfielders. The problem I have is that our budget is so small, considering we haven't signed a midfielder in now 5 years. Apart from, Arthur was on loan, but he doesn't count, and Carvalho is one for the future. But considering we haven't signed a midfielder in 5 years, are we saying that this summer we have a budget of 100 million and that's it, right? And that's what because that's not even going to be enough. That's not going to be the way forward, because we have to ask ourselves, you have to ask yourself, what kind of Liverpool do you want us to be? Do you want us to be a team that is challenging for top 4, or do we want it to be a Liverpool that is challenging for the title and the Champions League? Because this sends out a message as well to other clubs, fans, etc. that Liverpool can't essentially play with the big boys anymore. We can't compete with it, and that goes back to horrendous planning from after we won the league. We didn't take advantage when we won the league, and that summer after, of not stopping, of continuing to build and think about the future. And you look at the team that we put out the last couple of games, and it's still Alisson, it's still Virgil, it's still Henderson, it's still Fabinho, it's still Trent, it's still Robbo. Obviously Firmino's still there, Salah's still there. And that's a problem.
But a lot of those lads are young lads. A lot of those players are still in their prime. There's a couple of lads in Henderson is coming to the end of the fucking road.
But you're burning them out. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Right? There's no top class backups that can come in and you can do the squad rotation. You don't have that, and you're seeing Trent, you're seeing Virgil, you're seeing Fabinho, you're seeing even Salah, even though he scored 24 or 25 goals this season. They look completely burnt out.
You say it sends out a message to other clubs. I'd be more worried that it sends out a message to other players as well. You're starting to look at that and go, well, where are they going? Are they going to be competing? They're not signing the big boys. If you have a young fella there that's kind of, in between kind of a couple of clubs and then, because Newcastle's going to be a factor now, because I think they're nailed on. I think they're nailed on to get Champions League now. I think there's probably little doubt that they'll get Champions League now. So they're gonna start spending and splashing the cash because they've got it, and it just kind of sends out a bit of a message. I'm worried that it sends out a message to players that are looking in from the outside, going, well, where's this Liverpool? Where's this club going? What are we going to be competing for major titles?
One of the things that you kind of have to think back of how Klopp created this team, right? a lot of the players that we purchased weren't at the top of the list of most clubs, and he's developed them into to higher play. I mean, we had Van Dijk.
But that's not true. The players that he signed, the players that he signed, and the players that made us league winners, Champions League winners, are Van Dijk, Fabinho, and Alisson.
Right.
All big money signings, all money from Coutinho.
I understand that. Yeah. No, what I'm saying is though, a lot of the parts of it, right, where he's developed, and now I feel like we need more than just one player, just like Julian said, right? So I think it's one of those that they didn't realize they needed all those players until this season happened. I think they're clopped through the dice because you remember he said, "Hey, we have 9 midfielders coming into the season," and he was okay with that. And then he got caught with his pants down once Hendo got hurt at the very end.
Can I ask a question?
I don't buy that.
Can I ask a question?
Where
the fuck is Naby Keita?
Yeah, he's injured at the moment, mate. Yeah.
He's injured again.
He scored 2 weeks ago for fucking Guinea or whoever the fuck he
Anyway,
plays for.
so going back to Bellingham though.
Yeah.
So, like you said, some people think it's just a negotiating thing. Okay, we're not going to negotiate, especially in public. You know, they never are ones to negotiate out in public anyway, right? FSG. So, you think it's dead? Is a dead thing, or you know, he doesn't even have to leave. He's on contract till 2025. So it wasn't ever going to be a guarantee he was going to leave this summer anyway. But we need more than just one player, right? And I've always said that we get him fine, but if we spent that money on 3 players at $40 million, I'd be just as happy with that too.
Major surgery pretty much all over the pitch, and that's because FSG haven't stuck their necks out. They've stuck to the model of when they took over, of essentially selling to buy and putting in as little money into the club as they can, so they can, you know, help their other projects and all that kind of stuff. I get they see us as a franchise, but it's not. You have to go to the next level in football, right? It's almost like when you get a manager or you get like a Brendan Rodgers, right? It takes you so close, and you get here, then you have to go up to the next level. And it feels like we have run to the end of the race with these owners that I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with your Newcastles, your Man Cities, your Man United if they get taken over, because it's very easy that if this summer we don't invest correctly and enough into what we need, we could fall behind. I mean, there's a lot of money going into other clubs at the moment. And luckily we have a fantastic manager, which is how well we have done, you know, the past few years. We've done fantastically well. But the fact is, the squad has not been revitalised like it should be. And we shouldn't be keeping players around like Curtis Jones. Obviously he's never going to make it. Naby Keita shouldn't be at the club. Oxlade-Chamberlain shouldn't be at the club. These players, we hold on to them.
Who's we?
For so
Who's
long.
we?
Look, the club, Liverpool.
Let's Klopp is hold on to those players.
Is it? Or FSG? We don't know that for sure, though, right? We don't know that. I'm positive that Klopp wants to win the league, and I'm positive
Klopp has a lot of say-so in keeping Keita and
I'm
Ox.
sure if he was given 150 million for one player, he wouldn't turn it down. Like, oh yes, please. But and he's going to be very tactful in public, in press conferences. He's not going to, you know. I think he briefly slagged off the owners a couple of years ago in a press conference, and he never did it again. And I remember exactly what he said, but it was something definitely targeted at them, and I think it was the defender situation where we couldn't buy a defender.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
But then he renewed his contract, right? So obviously,
but the fact is, FSG
he knows how it works.
You know, they bought the club for a nice amount, and now it's worth this. And it's all well and good us signing sponsorships with freaking Subways, Quiznos, and
LeBron,
you know, and all that kind of stuff, and bringing out like new merchandise and stuff, but that's nothing to do with winning trophies on the pitch. That's something different. And I fail to see that their interests are us winning trophies at the moment, because I don't see
So when
the
FSG
risk.
bought Gapco during the January transfer window, they could have easily gotten a midfielder at that time instead, right?
Obvious that Klopp wants a particular midfielder that costs a lot of money, and it's obvious to me that in the summer that that we wanted Bellingham. Like we were said, we were going to go for Bellingham, but now it seems like that we're not going to spend that money on one player because we have a budget, and we have to stick to it, which isn't good enough. So.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. The story doesn't. The story around Bellingham doesn't really make sense to me. It's kind of a square peg in a round hole because, all the talk was up to 2 months ago was, we held our powder dry because we want Bellingham in the summer. We're keeping our money for Bellingham. And then all of a sudden, on a fucking Tuesday in April, it's like, oh well, we tried to sign him for 85 million, and they rejected it. So we're not going to spend any more than that. So we're moving on. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense that they didn't know how much that fucker was going to cost.
No, they knew it was going to cost a ton of money.
So it's either here are the two truths in my opinion. We were never in for him. Or this is a negotiating tactic and it's going to go right down to the fucking wire and we'll end up fucking buying. That's, to me, they're the only two truths in this. The only two truths that make any bit of sense in that situation. But let's go with if we don't get him and we say, oh well, let's spread up 120 million into 340 million. Who are the 340 million pound midfielders that we're going to sign?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You're not going to get. You're going to be taking a risk, right? Any signing's a risk. I get it, right? But
so, do you guys think Mason Mount is 70 million? No, it's worth 70 million pounds. Okay, that's what I'm just saying. That's the number today.
Yeah, I saw that. Ridiculous.
70 million pounds for Mount.
So how are you going to feel? Because this is what could happen.
I wouldn't pay that.
Well, this is what could realistically happen. We could end up paying 70 million for that. I could see us pay 70 million for that fucker.
I can't see it.
Now, how bizarre is that going to be?
I would be shocked if that would happen. I mean, the only thing that's going to make this up for me, the player we need. Yes, I would have liked Bellingham, no doubt, brilliant, talented. But really, the player that we need that's going to kickstart us and help us is Declan Rice.
Oh, so here we go.
If they're going to let me down by not signing Jude, they better sign Declan Rice.
But he's going to be no cheaper.
No. I know. But here's the thing. This is
unless West Ham go down, but they're not going to go down.
This is FSG's
what about Casado?
biggest. I don't see the good, decent player. All right.
Who's that Brighton guy?
Yeah,
but sure, how much do they want for him? They turned down 80 million or something, didn't they?
These clubs have money now as well. They can negotiate. They are not going to take your cut rate offers. You look at Villa, you look at Brighton, you look at Wolves, you look at these teams. They have a lot of money now, right? They can afford to turn these bids down. But this summer, for FSG, if they're still around, which unfortunately looks like they're going to be, is massive.
Hey, you still need to pay up for your lost bet, don't you?
This is a massive summer for them. It really is.
Yeah, I think it
looks like
it is a massive summer. That's why I don't
huge.
understand everybody just going off the rails. I was like, the window's not even open, dude. Let's see. It sets them. They've come out and said we're going to spend money. Klopp has said that there's going to be money available. Let's see what happens. No need to lose your head now. I mean, why?
Yeah.
The window's not.
Yeah, it's just. But I agree. I think that if we don't get Bellingham, there's going to be fucking. I think the COP will go absolutely, or a section at least.
Oh yeah.
And a pretty big section will be fuming. Will go absolutely fucking cracked, and you'll see more and more and more FSG out nonsense.
Well, they'll get briefed in the media that Tyler Morton has had such a good season with Blackburn. That he's going to come back as a new player, and to be. He has had a good season for Blackburn, by the way. But anyway,
until he got hurt, yeah.
It's a mess. This season is an absolute disaster. And while we didn't think it was going to be this bad, there was clues last summer that it wasn't going to be great and we were going to have issues. There's no doubt about that.
But we need more than 3 midfielders.
Oh, 100%. We need a right back. We need another centre back. We need 3 midfielders. We probably need another striker as well. We probably need someone to challenge Salah. We need a number of players. Because in the summer, you're going to lose. Guaranteed is Firmino's going to leave, right?
Yep.
Ox is going to leave.
Keita's leaving.
Keita's going to leave. And then you've got the maybes, which are Matip, Gomez, Milner, Jota I've seen linked a lot now, but you've got a lot of players that potentially could be off. So we have to bring in players. My worry is that we head to like the pound store and take the gambles again like we do with freaking Arthur in January.
But Klopp's really
ridiculous.
not the type to bring in 5-6 players at a time, really.
Yeah, but he's not going to have the choice here.
Maybe not.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Anyway,
it's tough one.
Yeah.
It's tough one. It was weird. It was a weird thing to see there. One minute I was looking at my phone going, oh Jesus, we've made an offer for Bellingham, and then you're texting me going, oh, we're done with Bellingham. So what the fuck is going on here? Which is it?
Yeah, I felt like that was kind of weird as well,
Yeah, there's something weird with that. To me, I think it's probably a little bit of a negotiating tactic and saying, okay, because they know there's no, and I think, to be fair to Bellingham too, I think he's kind of lined it up a little bit for Liverpool. To be fair, I think he kind of has made no secret that he would want to go to Liverpool.
The Klopp wants him, the players want him, he wants to join us. I mean, it couldn't be any more blatantly obvious. But who knows? Maybe Dortmund will say, "Oh, yeah, go on."
Smooth talk.
So if you have a £5 note, they make those £5 notes.
Yeah.
So
Fiverr called it.
Is Bellingham going to be a Liverpool player one day?
No.
Not with FSG, the scoundrels.
No.
I don't think he will.
Okay.
Nah. We'll probably get Tielemans on a free transfer.
This is a bit like the Sondage thing. You mark my words, this will never happen. And it could. Look, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Honestly, I don't.
And no one knows. That's the point. No one knows. Everybody thinks that they have the inside track to with FSG. They've always played it close to the vest.
But they've also always. There's never, apart from Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk is the only one where it was this kind of saga drawn out thing.
Yeah,
like you look at Fabinho, it was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Alisson, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Salah, I mean, it wasn't where did it come from, but it happened, pretty
many people
quickly.
knew we were
Mane,
really in for it.
Same thing, it was, so the fact that this is kind of drawn, that's not very FSG-like.
Right.
So we'll see. But we don't have, there's a new sporting director, right? So I don't know, who knows, could be different things going on there. The last fella was fucking, he was dynamite in the transfer market. I don't know, it's whatever. I'm just looking forward to the end of the season, get on the fucking boat, go on the piss.
That's right.
And fuck it.
Don't fall over.
Yeah.
It's illegal to be in those waters.
Yeah.
But the transfer window opens, and FSG and Klopp, they do like to get the business done early in those windows, so he has the full summer to train. So it'll be very exciting at the very beginning. See who goes, who comes in. But there'll be a lot of changes. Whatever happens, there's going to be a lot of player transactions this summer. And for me, it's always exciting to bring in new players, man. I like to see new people come in, and you have to. Like you said before, you have to regenerate the team constantly.
It was said, this is not, and we'll end this in a minute, right? But this is not a new thing. It's always been like this in the top league. It's always been when the Premier League was the old Division 1. Right? If you win the league, you buy, you keep buying. Now you're in a position where players want to come to you, right? So you take advantage of that.
Fergie was brilliant at that, wasn't he?
Fergie was brilliant at it. Like Paisley did it, Dalglish Russ did it, Wenger did it, the list goes on. And we did not do it when we won the league.
Klopp has a little bit more loyal streak to him than those guys
well,
that you're just talking about.
As well.
It is a problem, yeah.
Right?
It's a big problem. He's kept faith to some players and given contract extensions to some players that if we're running the team, probably some of those guys wouldn't have gotten those extensions.
I tell you one thing, if I was running the fucking club, there'd be a right few lads that wouldn't be there. And that fucker Kate would be the first one that would have ran anyway, I can tell you that. Out the fucking door. I can't believe that he's still at the club.
I can't believe it either.
Because I was like, what's wrong? He was injured. The next thing, there was an international break and he scored 2 goals.
It's one of those
and
things,
he's injured again.
I mean, that's one of the differences between us and Man City, between Pep and Klopp, is if somebody is not working out for Pep, and even if they spend a lot of money, he gets rid. Right? Yep. He gets rid. You know, one of the most recent ones was the Torres fella. Like, big money, brought him in, boom, got him out.
Well, today, or yesterday, they played Bayern. Cancelo was on the other side for Bayern. And he was
Manny. Sané.
And Sané, but Cancelo
Manny hit him a box. Did you see that?
Yeah, good old Manny. Yeah.
Bit of a Barney in the dressing room. Manny hit him a box.
He learned some Scouse, didn't he, when he was in Liverpool?
Yeah.
Some Scouse behavior. Yeah. Anyway, so it'll be interesting. So, but it's good to be back in the pub.
Good to see you guys. I was fired. It's been that long since I was here.
Yeah. Dude, it's been so long. There's a restaurant next door.
Oh, really? Yeah. Right, there's a whole
that would be a godsend. Then you wouldn't have to talk about Liverpool.
Right, jeez. Driving down the car going, what am I going to say about these show rehearsals?
Well, cheers, everyone. Please like, subscribe. Thank you guys for all supporting us. Hope you guys were able to see us in the game program. When Liverpool and Arsenal played, we were in the game program. We were featured, so that was a big shot for us. So we hope that you guys were able to get a copy of the program, and see you next time. Cheers.
Good luck, everyone.
Cheers.